The Syrian conflict is edging closer to its powerful neighbor, Israel. Syrian government forces have retaken a crossing between Syria and the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Rebels had seized Quneitra earlier on Thursday. The fighting took place close to the headquarters of United Nations peacekeeping force. 2 UN peacekeepers were wounded, prompting Austria to announce it was withdrawing its troops. Al Jazeera's Sue Turton has more.
The rebels launched a dawn raid on the town of Quneitra, taking the Assad forces by surprise here and really taking control right up to the border with Israel. But the Assad forces took that area back by sending in tanks and heavy artillery. This contravened the agreement between Syria and Israel that no such heavy artillery will come close to the ceasefire line between Syria and Israel, an agreement that has lasted for the last 40 years. But it now seems that the rebels have been pushed out of Quneitra and are fighting further up the Israeli border, all the way further up along the line, along the fence. We're also hearing that some of the UN disengagement observer force have now been told they will be pulling out. The Austrian contingent of some 380 troops will be leaving because the situation here has become so intolerable. The Secretary General of the UN, Ban Ki-moon, is very concerned about the situation here and what this means to a group that has been patrolling this ceasefire line for the last 40 years.
Well, meanwhile, Syrian rebels are suspected of firing rockets that landed in Lebanon's Baalbek region, a Hezbollah heartland. Hezbollah fighters helped Syria's military to recapture the city of Qusair on Wednesday, and there's been fighting in the northern Lebanese city of Tripoli as well between Sunnis who back Syria's rebels and supporters of President Bashar al-Assad. The Lebanese army has been deployed in the city to try and restore calm. Okay, well, the recapture of Qusair was a big strategic win for the Assad government. But now let's take a closer look at exactly who controls what inside Syria. The areas which are currently rebel-held are mainly in the north and include Kamishli on the Turkish border, which has a large Kurdish population, and Idlib, which was one of the first to join the uprising. Regime-controlled areas include the capital, of course, Damascus, as well as the large province of Hama, and the coastal cities of Latakia and Tartus, home to a major Russian military base. But many parts of Syria are still contested, the major front lines being Homs and the country's commercial hub Aleppo. And then, of course, in the south, there's Daraa, the birthplace of the uprising.